Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're doing the Shrine of Secrets review for the 22nd of February 2023. Very sorry about my lackluster performance on uploading these and recording these. I don't know, this game is such a weird game to me. I've talked about it before, but like, this game is just in a constant, for me, it's just a constant state of like enjoyment and absolutely despising playing it. So yeah, once again, I have not been on it very recently, and I said I would kind of hold back on it for a bit anyway, but I really haven't been playing it a lot recently. But I have next week off from uni, so I'm hoping that that time will let me play it a little bit more and also get the next review out on time. So apologies for me, on me for lacking, but I'm here. I'm 2 days late, but we're here, so that's what matters. I believe this shrine was community chosen. I think there's a community vote thing for this. So you can basically get any of these because obviously that's the community, but I'm going to go over them anyway and give you my thoughts. So, first of all, we have Lethal Pursuer, which is a Nemesis perk, and this one will reveal the auras of all the survivors to you for 9 seconds at the start of the match, no matter where they are, no matter what they're doing, unless they have distortion right at the start, which, you know, is possible, definitely happens. But basically, you'll just see where everyone spawns pretty much. It also increases the aura duration from like perks and add-ons for 2 extra seconds. So, for example, if you use barbecue and chili, you get an aura reveal for 6 seconds instead of 4. If you use I'm all ears, you get 8 seconds of aura reveal instead of 6. It gives an extra 2 seconds to those perks, but also to add-ons. So, you know, I think every killer has like an add-on with like a 6 second aura reveal. That will go up to 8, and that's pretty cool. That's quite recent actually. Yeah, this one's really helpful. This one's great on basically any killer. Um, Disregarding the extra aura reveal part, the main part, in my opinion, is the fact that you get to see everyone at the start of the match, and that really helps for trying to find someone because, you know, trying to find someone at the start of the match is like key. You know, you need to get pressure going. You need to start hunting the survivors. And sometimes on the bigger maps, especially, that can be really hard. Also, survivors really like to hide when they hear the terror radius, so sometimes it can take ages to find it, and you're just like wasting time. So this one helps you like find someone straight away pretty much, and it helps you just to not be dawdling about a bit, and you can just immediately get going into the game. The aura reveal part is really cool as well. I haven't really used that a bit a whole lot, so you could use this with aura perks and get some extra value, but it's totally fine just using this by itself because, you know, you're still going to be seeing where people are. So yeah, solid perk, solid perk. Next up, we have Merciless Storm, which is a Sadako perk slash Onryo. I always call it Sadako now, but basically, once a generator reaches 90%, survivors will start getting continuous skill checks. It will just keep going and going until the gen gets done. However, if they miss one or they let go of the gen then will then get blocked for 20 seconds. So it's kind of I was gonna say like doctor skill checks, but it's not really. It's kind of like snapping out of madness, but it's basically just that, like, continuously, like, you don't pause, you just get continuous skill checks either until, like I said, the gen gets done or someone lets go. And this perk is countered by decent survivors. If you're just decent at the game, this won't really be a problem. You know, if you can hit overcharge skill checks, if you can hit skill checks with unnerving presence, if you can snap out of doctor's madness skill checks, you'll be fine. I think it just throws people off because the skill checks go so fast, and also they just don't stop. So it can make you panic. But if you just focus, if the killer's nowhere near you, then like it's totally fine because you can just concentrate on missing the skill checks, hitting the skill checks. Sorry, and yeah, this one unfortunately kind of falls flat for that. But you know, if maybe you're lower tier, lower rank, whatever, lower skill, it doesn't matter. But basically, what I'm trying to say is like, you know, if you're like newer and you're playing with like newer survivors, not experienced survivors, then this will be okay, I think, because you'll get value out of it. In 20 seconds, again, for a gen that's like 90% done, is like a real kick up the ass for the survivors. Could be a bit longer. You know, they could have made this like 30 seconds, and that would be like really annoying because that's like deadlock. Um, but yeah, it's a cool perk, and like I said, it is cool, like, you know, to like really get you engaged at the end. Obviously, if you have a killer who can get there really fast, then you can basically force them to miss the skill checks, even if they are hitting them. If you're running towards them, chances are they're going to let go. But again, it depends because this triggers at 90%, and 90% is basically the end of the gen. So I don't know. This one, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'll give thoughts on the end. Next up, we have Flashbang, which is a Leon perk. This one lets you make a flashbang after you've repaired generators for a bit. You can go into a locker, press the button once you're empty-handed. You can make a flashbang, and then when you're in chase, you can drop it on the ground like a firecracker or what's the other one? Like the fireworks thing, basically. You can drop it on the ground, and if it works, then it will stun and blind the killer. Well, it will just blind the killer, but if they're like picking up a survivor, it counts as a stun as well if you time it right, because it's basically like a flashlight save pretty much. So yeah, pretty cool perk. You get to make a flashbang. How cool is that? It's easy to do. You have to repair 50% of a generator, so you will have to take some time out just to do that. But once you do that, you can make your flashbang, and then you can start aggressing the killer. I think you can hold multiple. I don't know. I don't know if that's a bug or not, or if you actually can do that, or even if you can do that at all. I'm not entirely sure. You might be able to stack them up. Saying that though, you have to be empty-handed, so I don't know if you'd maybe drop your flashbang on the floor, make a new one, and then you could pick the other one up. Again, I don't know how it works. I don't really use this perk because it's a very like offensive perk in the sense of you have to have a very aggressive play style to use this because, you know, if you're someone like me, you kind of just chill on gens and rescue teammates. You're probably not like the one, you know, the same people who use this perk are the same ones that use like head on and like breakout and stuff like that. Like a very like chase the killer kind of thing. But at the same time, it's cool to make a flashbang and just drop on the ground. And, you know, you have to be very precise with it. You know, the killer can see the animation of you dropping it, and they can also hear it for a split second. But I don't know, on certain maps and in certain settings, you can't really see or hear it. So sometimes it will just completely catch you off guard. But if you see a survivor use it, then you know that they've got it. And also, you can leave them on the floor for teammates to pick up, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I think overall it's a very solid perk. Once you get it right and you nail like the timings and everything, it's a really fun perk actually. And finally, we have Reassurance, which is a Rebecca perk. I completely forgot them. And this one has it so when you're within 6 meters of a survivor, you can press the active ability button, and you can pause their struggle progression for 25 seconds. So what this means is when you're on the hook, on second state, and the entity is trying to kill you, and you're struggling, you can pause that pretty much for 25 seconds. But it can only be triggered once per survivor per hook instance, which means, you know, you can't just like, when it runs out, you can't just use it again. And I don't think someone else using this perk can use it on that survivor, if that makes sense, like in that hook state. It's very confusing, but basically, you know, you can't just spam this perk pretty much. You get to use it and you buy yourself 25 seconds. I think it's 30 seconds at tier 3, but I haven't really leveled up Rebecca a whole lot, so 30 seconds to give yourself and your teammates some time to plan or, you know, draw the killer away or finish the last gen or something. It does also pause the skill checks, because now you get the skill checks when you're on a hook, so they don't get any of that. It just completely pauses. Basically, it's like kinship, aka camaraderie. It's basically that where, you know, the survivor enters your vicinity and then it pauses it. It's actually really similar to that, but this one you can like actively toggle. The other one just triggers once the survivor gets close to you, but this one you can like plan it, so you can leave it till the very last second and then use it, and then you can do something with it. So again, solid perk, solid altruistic perk, and it's very easy to use. You just have to be close and you have to use the button. 6 meters is quite close though, so if the killer is like hard camping, then you need to be careful. But other than that, it's solid. It does what it does. Okay, so this is a community chosen one, so, you know, and these are some good perks. So I would probably say Lethal above everything else. I think Lethal is just a really solid perk. I think it's really helpful for beginner players to learn kind of where survivors spawn in general. But also, I think you can use this at any level, really, as either. I mean, as well. I was going to say both, but it's good for that as well, because it lets you find people right at the start, and it means you don't have to waste any time trying to walk around bloody Red Forest trying to find someone. You could just go straight to where they are. And also, you know, it's 9 seconds, so you also get a chance to see if they're opening a chest, if they go on a gen, or if they go and do something else. You can basically just follow them and get a little moment where you can see what they're doing. Also, the extra aura reveal thing is very, very useful. Make sure to combo it with aura perks / add-ons because you'll get more value out of it. Merciless Storm, I think, isn't bad, but I don't think it's 100% reliable because, you know, I've tried to do Adept Onryo before, and, you know, I've had whole matches where, like, this doesn't trigger at all because some survivors, like I said, you only have to be really decent, or a little bit decent, sorry, and, like, the skill checks aren't really a problem. As long as the killer isn't directly on you to, like, force you off the gen to force this value, you'll probably hit the skill checks. Like, once you get it once, you're kind of used to it, and then you're like, okay, I know I can do that next time. So, you know, sometimes you'll get it, and I don't know if you could maybe use this with pain resonance if you time it right. I guess you could do it like that, but that's again very, very situational. Flashbang is very fun, but if you're like me and you don't really play that way, then this perk probably isn't for you because, you know, I have it as a teachable and I literally don't use it except if I have to, or if I just want to fuck around a bit. But most of the time, I don't use this one. You know, I don't use head on. I don't use breakout. I don't use anything like that. So, um, if this sounds interesting to you and you think you'll use this a lot, by all means go ahead because, like I said, it is hilarious and it's fun and useful. Um, Other than that, probably not. And reassurance, I think, is a guaranteed plus as well. I think this one is just good for anyone because, you know, it's useful to just have this on any survivor. You know, camping and tunneling is still a very prominent thing right now, and I think this one just helps make it a little easier. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you'll give them the reassurance, but they'll still die on hook. That just happens sometimes. But you know, it's good to have a fighting chance. So basically, you know, it's a community one, so the community usually knows what they're doing, and these, like I said, are pretty solid perks. So just go for whatever you're interested in, really. I would say lethal above everything, but it's up to you, really. That would do from me. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.